All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another rendition of Oliver Happy Hour. We thanks for joining us on this illustrious Sunday, wherever you are, where you are. Thank you for tuning in to us, whatever time it is that you're listening to us. We're grateful for it. Yeah, we're again. This is Oliver Happy Hour. This is going to be our new music.
No, Politricks.
Oh, today we talking about Politricks today. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're gonna be talking about Politricks today.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do we start?
We have so many things to talk about, you all.
Yes,
It has
so many
been,
things.
it has been a minute. We take our little mini breaks because we are humans and we definitely need to step away from our podcast. However, there has been a lot that's been happening in Politricks.
Well, let's do some introduction first.
Oh, thank you, Dev, because we have lost our whole
Well, then by now they should know who
They
we are.
should know our voices.
My name is
Thanks.
Darren. Today I'm hosting. I found out during the intro music I was hosting. I forgot. And then we got my sister Daisy.
Daisy O, always ready for the show.
Debbie Dev.
Debbie Dev here in the building.
And look, we're just gonna keep it flowing. You know, we're not even gonna start over today.
Right.
We're just gonna go straight into
Come
it.
on.
Straight
now.
into Politricks.
So check this out. So let's talk about our president Joe Biden. So what do you guys? Let's just start with what's your honest opinion about Joey B?
Devin, I will let Devin go because my
He's
sister.
just not all there. I feel like he just be struggling. Child, he just be struggling. Like, I feel like he really has good intention and he wants to do the right thing and whatnot, but I don't know. His mind is not all there, and I feel like the people, somebody else is obviously speaking through him, obviously, because his mind is not all there.
Yeah,
And
but
I don't know
mean,
if Kamala is like, if she's like stepping in, like, and doing the back end.
No, that's not the role of a vice president. A vice
it's
president,
not, yeah.
especially in this, like, look, they were
International.
opponents. They were opponents in the presidential race, right? He
Mhm.
brought her on. We know why he brought her on, because he said beforehand, "I'm going to appoint a black woman," like a fucking dumbass. You know, like, why would you say that? That just that's why it contributes to why her public perception is down, because she's looked at as a token, because he said, "I'm looking for this token.
Yeah, that was. a
Look here,
mistake.
guys. I'm looking for this token." So look, I mean, and that's unfortunately the burden that she carries, because otherwise she's not really her responsibilities according to the Constitution is just to oversee or to preside over the Senate. It's nothing else.
It's nothing else.
Nothing else.
Maybe some international relations when Joe can't travel, but that's
She messed that up though, because she don't read the reports.
yeah. So that's probably why they took her out of those things too. However, I do think, bless his soul, Lord Joe. I really do have a lot of respect for him. I love him as our president. I think he is a testimony of dedication and hard work and persistence. I'm telling you, because he
Yeah.
has been in the Senate and he ran a couple times before and he
Mhm.
lost. And
Mhm.
so the fact that he did it this time at that part of his life, for
Mhm.
him to accomplish that goal is a story in itself,
yeah.
honestly. But Lord bless his soul and
Child,
his
he done got in
mind.
office when his mind is not all the way
But
there.
look, but that position, it ages you anyway. Look
It
at
does. Well,
you
yeah,
saw
it does.
how
Obama.
Yeah, look at Obama. He came out with wrinkled skin, and we know black don't crack, but it looked like he aged 20 years
Yeah, he
being in
did.
there. All the
He
shit that he had to
definitely
listen
did.
to and hear and make decisions on, all the beatings up that he had to take.
Mhm.
But
For 8 years.
but look, I mean, if you're already working with somebody who's already like 79, just imagine, he basically up there, just shifting along. They need to give him a nice moo that says Mr. President on it, and give him some house shoes so he can just slide across the Oval
Child, and he be
Office.
thinking he looks
in
so
the
cool with
hallways.
them
Don't
damn
do
aviators
that.
on.
Don't do
He be
that to
thinking
him.
he be thinking he looking so cool with them aviators on. Okay.
Also, whoever writes his stuff for social media, like on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as Instagram, whoever is his social media person, they are keeping him hip. Okay, and that's part of the way that they show he's still connected. Is
Right.
he has a great social media presence and social media team that still reflect the message he's
Yeah.
trying to send, even though his body and his mind
Wow.
won't let him do
I
it.
be like, he need a cane.
I need to see that motherfucker with an iPhone, or
Jeez.
I need to see him tweeting live in person. 'Cause I don't believe a damn thing that he said. I know that's one of them workers, them
It's
interns.
definitely
It
one of the
is.
workers.
Damn White House
okay?
intern. They gave the White House iPhone.
Right,
to
you're in
me.
charge of the social media.
But
account,
I
okay?
mean, and it has been working for him. But I do think that when he also gets on the microphone and on camera, and those are just certain things, certain ticks, or certain things that I think people are have recognized from the very beginning. But now it's just like more pronounced because he's doing it more, and then also he has a speech impediment.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
you age, and I can speak from someone who has a speech impediment, y'all know I was in school for like
yes.
5 years. I like literally my whole elementary experience was speech impediment. And I went to class for it. So I know that like that's just something as you age, you really also have to go back to your training or that education to learn how to speak. And sometimes when he's talking too fast,
Ah, rah, rah.
Oh God,
Rah, rah,
no,
rah.
stop it.
sometimes when he gets excited, and I'm telling you, because I do it too, even when I'm talking to students or I'm giving presentations, I've had to stop myself and say, let me back up. What I was trying to say was, and I do think like in his older age, he don't want to back up. He don't need to. He don't need to like return to the what he was trying to say. Like in his age and in his wisdom, he's like, I don't have to do this for you guys. I'm also showing up every day to work, and I'm tired as hell.
I mean, but and the thing is that like I wish that he would just not be as prideful. I mean, he cannot. I mean, and that's just the issue with the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, you know, they don't want him to run up against the primary competitor, because anytime anytime a president has run up against a primary person, they've lost. Look at George H.W. Bush. You know, he had a primary with like other people, and he lost.
Yeah.
You know, look at Jimmy Carter. He had Ted Kennedy run against him in 1980, and that basically weakened him to Ronald Reagan. You know, so it's just like you got to think about stuff like that. Why the Democratic Party is doing that? Don't want him to have a competitor. But what I think Joey B should have done, Uncle Joe should have did, is that he just should have said, "Hey, look, I'm going to do a good 8 years. I'm going to sit down. You know, if you guys want me to tell you who I think, I will tell you who I think when the time is appropriate. But you know, let these young bucks come up through here and make sure that we stand on steady foundation that I tried to pull us out of after, the 4 years of Trump. And that we need to make sure that the American people as a whole, that we can get there.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Totally.
I was a caretaker. I came in, even when I should have been sitting down. But I just came over here to bring some stability.
Yeah.
And I need to train. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be you guys pay for me a nice government apartment and use my Medicare. Up here. I'll be around.
Shut up.
I'll be around. Just take my cod liver oil in the morning.
Listen.
Okay.
Not the
Listen,
liver
okay.
oil.
But he needs to. Please, because like I think just in general, he's gonna inherit a lot of things just because of the way the economy has worked. And trying to reel us out. Look, he wasn't in office when they passed all that money and approved for all that money to let people steal and shit. All them people got that COVID money that they shouldn't have gotten. That they, but they printed out a bunch of money anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, and we talked about it. We talked about it on this very podcast. We talked about it. You go look at our archive during the pandemic in 2020, 2021. I remember definitely saying you can't just think that you're going to buy your way out of stuff and print a bunch of money
Yeah.
and think that's going to solve the problem, because now you've printed a bunch of other money, and now it's going to devalue the rest of the money out here.
It already has.
Yeah.
It already has. I told you when I went to Thailand years ago, with friends I'm no longer friends with, but when I went to Thailand, there was the baht dollar to $1 ratio was like 90 to $1 or something. The baht was 90 to $1. Now it's only like 35 or something like that, or 40.
That's crazy.
That's how much the value of the dollar has gone down.
It's decreased.
Yeah.
It's decreased. I mean, because look, I mean, if we got to think about it, $2 trillion was our budget deficit for this year. $2 trillion.
That's a lot.
No, and I don't know if you guys remember, but when we were younger, when we were kids, the national deficit wasn't even $2 trillion. The national deficit was like some billions.
Yeah.
And so now, annually, we're running a deficit of $2 trillion that we're in debt. And the thing is that the dollar still remains very, it's one of the major, things that people still invest in. In foreign countries, they put their money into our money.
Yeah, but the value is going down.
The value is definitely going down,
significantly.
Yeah, significantly. And we got to realize that even the price of stuff. Like, I want you guys to think about just basic commodity stuff, right? Because I always like, people, they talk all this shit and, they do all this stuff on TV and stuff, and they talk about, supply and demand and, the consumer price index and all this other kind of shit. I want you guys to think about a honey bun. Remember, you used to be able to get a honey bun.
Oh my gosh!
Two for $1.
Two for $1.
Two
Okay.
for $1.
Did you get a honey bun?
I used to. You sometimes.
Jay-Z, you trying to hold out on the honey bun?
Oh
I
yeah.
got
Oh,
a
she
whole-
got. Oh,
I
she
got
got
a
one of the
whole-
hostess.
How much did
I
you
got
get
a
that for?
honey bun right here, Darren.
How
Wow.
much did you get that for?
I
That's
think
crazy.
it was
That's
like
crazy. We didn't even
$1.75
plan
$1.75.
or $2.
We didn't even plan this. Daisy, she went down to the liquor bank and got some refreshments, and she went and got a jumbo honey bun made by Hostess, because that's what we used to do as kids. We used to go into the Ralph's.
Daisy, why you didn't get two?
I messed up, Devin, because I got the big one so that we can share it.
Okay,
I'm not
we can
eating
share.
I'm not eating that whole
Okay,
thing.
we can
But
share. That's
remember,
good.
but
That's
remember,
good.
we used to go into like a store like Ralph's, and it would be
50 cents.
50
for
cents. Sometimes it
one.
would be 49. I remember one time it used to be 49
49
cents too.
cents.
Right.
You get two
Yes,
$4,
right.
they used to give you 2 cents back.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you used to come out a little automatic
No, for real,
change
because
dispenser.
honey buns, I used to fuck with honey buns.
But how much did you pay for that shit?
It was $2 or
Shit,
like
$2.
a little more,
$1.75,
a little
$2.
more.
That's all we
Right.
need.
I think it was more like $2.50.
Wow.
Oh hell, 250 days? Are you kidding me?
I'm not
That's
joking.
crazy.
You guys.
That
It
is
was like
crazy.
$2.50.
No, I
That
would pay
is
that probably
crazy.
for the frosted one, but that was just a regular glazed one.
Yeah.
Child,
exactly.
Just a mess. Trifling.
Trifling, but the value of the dollar has definitely gone down. And you know what? It's just, I think it's because we're giving our money away to all these wars, but we're going to get to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Darren, you said
What
the
about
House,
the House Speaker?
the House Speaker
Oh
was
my
elected.
goodness.
Okay, so
Here,
you guys know the
drama.
story.
New
about
House
the-
Speaker.
Yeah, we have a new House Speaker. So you know what happened is that a few weeks ago, Matt Gaetz. So Matt Gaetz is a congressman from Florida, who probably should have been expelled a long time ago because of allegations of, child sex trafficking, as well as this inappropriate relationship with some young dude that he adopted, apparently, and said it was his adopted son, but they think that it's his secret lover.
What
and stuff
the
like
hell?
that.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
See,
That's why.
no.
So anyway,
That's
so Matt
wild.
Gaetz, he was just like, I don't like Kevin McCarthy. So Kevin McCarthy was the Speaker of the House,
I don't see
and he's
nothing
from the
wrong.
Central Valley here in California, up just north of Bakersfield. But he's been in Republican leadership for over a decade, well over a decade. He's been like the number 3 for years. Then he was the number 2 for a while, and he was the Republican majority leader for several years after. He was the majority whip for a while under Paul Ryan for several years when they took control under Obama. And so Kevin McCarthy, they have this clause. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but Kevin McCarthy, it took like 16, 17 votes for them to elect him as Speaker because he
Yeah.
couldn't get the number of votes.
Exactly.
Drama.
Because
Yeah.
look, the Republican Party, they've gerrymandered so many of their state areas for elections that Republicans are going to win anyway. So what gerrymandering is, you guys know what gerrymandering is, right? So gerrymandering is...
Describe it.
I was
describe
about
it.
to say, explain it for the
They've
people.
rigged, they rigged the locations.
Right. So the states, every state legislature is given the authority to set up the electoral zones in which a candidate is elected from. The thing is that how they draw maps nowadays is that they're computer generated based upon who lives in what area. So many times what they do is they try and make a weird ass shape to combine all the black areas so that the black areas can just vote for one person, right? Instead of equally distributing it out so that the black people, along with maybe the other similar class, people of color or white people, maybe they'll vote for a Democrat, how the map was drawn before.
Oh, wow.
So look, this is like artificial intelligence stuff. This is a computer program that's going to tell you exactly how you can fucking draw this map in a way in which it will dilute especially the black vote or Democratic votes. So that's how many Republican-led states or states that have a Republican-controlled state legislature, that's the normal order of business. And they are helped by conservative think tanks, which pay for this stuff. And they lobby for it. They pay and donate to the representatives, and they're in their pocket, and they do what the fuck they say. So they say, if we want this, they do that. So anyway, so they have an advantage to a point to where there is gerrymandered to the point to where whatever candidate that is a Republican votes. Who shows up really at the primaries, right? The primary elections are really less frequently attended than the general elections. And during the primary votes, if all you're voting for is Republican people, now it's just Republican majority, and all you get is the crazy-ass people who come up and show up to vote, they're going to put this radical person as the primary voter. Now, at the general election, this primary crazy-ass Republican person, they're just going to win just because by virtue of them being a Republican.
Right.
So you have enough people across the country who've joined together to be crazy-ass Republicans and to become like what they call the House Freedom Caucus and all these, all these different things, which is...
Devin, it's rigged. That's why, I mean, layman's terms, is rigged. It's rigged by location and mapping, and it's messed up.
Damn shame. It's a damn shame.
No, seriously, unfortunately it's been happening for
centuries.
Well, only in the last 10 to 15 years has this been happening. Not really, like, it's actually been public. It's public news, so you can find it online.
Yeah.
You can research about it.
That's crazy.
Find all this information. It's very public. But because the public, like, politics is not something that they really think about, or politricks, they, like, in a common rural
a lot of people are not really, like, I feel like
they're not paying attention.
They don't do the research.
They go to work, they pay their bills, they feed their children. They go to work, they pay their bills, they feed their children.
Routine.
Maybe not in that order, but
they'll get upset about the gas being high, about eggs being high.
But not doing research on why it's going up.
You don't know who's responsible. And if you did more, and if people had more, if people were offered more information about where the source of their troubles are, because at the end of the day, then you'll be blaming the president.
Yeah.
When it's something that's probably your governor that did or your mayor did.
Totally.
You know?
That's why they say it's important for the community to go out and vote, because
oh my God, especially in the primaries. The primaries are really like every 2 years.
Yes, like you need to do research on these propositions and the research on these people that are in office.
They give us an opportunity.
They do
every 2 years,
and people don't pay attention to that.
No, they don't. So look. So let's pull back and let's pull back to the point that all these. No, you're fine. I mean, but to pull back on what we were talking about in terms of these kind of really far right Republicans, these very fringe people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and that crazy that woman's a damn crazy ass bitch. I'll say it like that. She is nothing but a crazy ass bitch.
She's bad shit. I
crazy,
agree.
just crazy.
I don't like
something wrong with her.
Why?
You know, and then you
she
have
like
that,
Trump to me, Devin.
Yeah, and And you got that Lauren Boebert who was up there, went to see a
Mhm.
Beetlejuice performance and was over here jerking off her boyfriend in the
God.
theater. Like, come on, man.
And it's crazy. All
Outlandish.
these politicians, they always
Always talking about values and shit, right? Like, oh, family
they
values.
always right, and they always be caught up in all the scandal.
Contradictions. They are living.
Contradictions. That's why the people don't trust politicians. And I feel like that is it's like, well, shit. The shit is gonna go to hell anyway. So
Yeah, look,
and that's how I feel like that's
Right.
how the people feel.
right,
That's
and
why
people are
don't-
just gonna be like, yeah, fuck it. You know, I'm gonna vote for Trump because at least this motherfucker will probably be more
At
real
least
than
he
some of
gave
these
us
other
money.
motherfuckers. Yeah, at least he
Yeah.
gave us money when really that was Congress that gave the money.
like
Look,
what?
we could have got the money
What are
sooner, but
y'all-
that motherfucker wanted
Right.
his signature on the checks.
Right.
He wa-
yes.
And if you guys remember,
crazy.
they ended up sending a letter that was signed by him saying your stimulus check is going to be
Yes.
coming.
I do
Yes.
remember that. I received the
Yes.
letter. You're
Just
right.
book.
Because he did. Because he wanted his name associated with it when
Yes,
that was
he
none
wanted
of his
people.
doing.
He wanted the people to think
That
that
he did it.
did it.
And it worked.
No,
It worked. It worked.
It
People
did
are
work,
crediting
Devin.
him because look, people sometimes they don't look for that information. So anyway, to pull
Yes.
back, what ended up happening is that these far right people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and stuff like that, they voted to. All you needed was one vote. All you needed was one vote to call a vote to
And that
expel the
vote-
speaker. So they got enough Republicans to band with the Democrats because it's a
Yep.
tight majority. I mean, it's a slim majority that they have.
Mhm.
Right.
I think it's like
Two-
219.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So all it took was like 8 Republicans to join with the
Mhm.
Democrats to vote out Kevin McCarthy, and
Yep.
they did that. So
They did
so
Kevin McCarthy
for
wrong.
for damn near like 3.5 weeks, they could not figure out who to vote for. They kept voting for random ass people, crazy ass people. I think there were some people who vote for Ronald Reagan and dumb shit.
Yes,
Like,
just dumb shit.
I'm
I
gonna-
was look.
I'm gonna vote for my high school basketball coach.
I was like, what the fuck are
They
y'all
made-
doing?
to-
It was so stupid, Daisy. It
I
was,
know.
You really
I was
realize
watching
how
it.
stupid some of these motherfuckers are. 'Cause
Yes.
They start putting microphones in people's face and people were just talking shit. I'm like, you really gonna do some dumb shit like that? Really?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It
Yeah,
was really
and
ridiculous.
to me, I'm like, these are y'all people that y'all voted for to be up in the Congress and the Senate. These are y'all people that you put on the microphone. So I just want to say, y'all voted for these people that can't get it together.
No, but it's the
That
same
can't
thing.
get
But
it
no, but to
fuck
Devin's
together.
point, like they don't give a fuck. They just like, man, go ahead, tear that shit up. I don't care. You're not helping
it's
me.
gonna go
no
to hell
way.
anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
You're not going. No
Right,
way.
because they don't believe
It's so
in the
drama.
politicians. The politicians because of the scandal behind
Yeah.
the shit that they do.
Yeah.
When it's revealed, they're like,
Yeah.
well, why the fuck would I trust you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the trust is broken, I think, between not only the public and politics.
Yes.
I do think that it's definitely like either non-existent or it just needs to be repaired. But
It needs to be repaired, and then the people need to actually do their research on the people that they vote for.
yeah, let's
Like,
just
what's the
continue to
history?
repeat that. Yeah, totally.
Do
Like,
your
are
research.
are there
And-
consistencies of good shit happening? Like, what's going on?
Right.
No, absolutely.
Totally. That's why I think Darren should be a politician.
I really
know what?
think so too, Darren.
I need. It's funny because I was talking to somebody about being a politician and stuff like that.
totally think. Listen,
and people-
I will
so
be in that rally like.
this
Okay.
person, I'll talk some shit.
Darren.
No, you gotta watch out.
And look, we will be the sisters behind there. Talk your shit.
Right.
But damn
shit.
thing, what I won't
'Cause
do is
you
I
know
won't
I'm-
say some. Anyway, I was gonna say I won't say some bullshit like, "Go to the Capitol, march to the Capitol."
Right, exactly. No, it wouldn't be no shit like
Wait.
that.
If I do
but
that, we're gonna go there, and I'm gonna. I will
No.
be there with you.
you will
Right.
you will be calling motherfuckers out.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
that's
No,
what that would be.
And that's what I was gonna say. We need to work on your language, Darren.
My
just
no,
a
my
little
language,
bit.
my language.
know.
That's
We
the thing, because I'm too raw. I'm
Yeah.
too raw.
Listen, we gotta just work on that language.
I know.
I be
Just
like,
a little
hey,
bit.
No,
I
look,
present
why?
the motherfucking proposition to the floor. You know what you said was some bullshit. Why are you over here talking shit? Don't you know slaves built this motherfucking house you in right now?
I had to fall out of my chair.
You know damn well you shouldn't have brought your ass in here with that old
Look,
cheap seersucker
look,
suit, motherfucker.
Look, And I would be right there. I would be right behind you. Yeah, Darren, go ahead. Because look, I would be the one to always be cursing too. Because I be doing that shit at work. I be cursing. And my coworkers would be like, well, damn.
Sailor
Okay.
mouths.
Sailor
be like,
mouths,
well,
yeah.
shit,
My bad.
We
My
got some
bad.
granddaddy sailor mouths.
Yeah,
Listen
I'm
now.
a little bit
Listen,
too.
Lord, help us,
A little
Lord.
bit too raw. My bad. My bad. Yeah. So yeah, I do
my
have to work on
God.
stuff like that. Like I have to have a communications director.
Oh,
or
yeah,
communications
totally,
intern.
totally.
How would
Yeah.
we
But
like,
you could
how
do
would we like
it.
to say
But
it?
you definitely
But you,
could do
I
it.
would say
You
you
know?
could do it. You represent definitely a lot of the voices of the community.
The community, yeah.
And
for sure.
again, not just like Black people, Latino people,
Oh yeah,
people of
yeah.
color. You represent white
Everybody.
people
People
too.
of color,
Everybody.
yes.
Yeah.
Because
People
you
of
understand,
color.
you gotta understand people and where they
Totally.
are, what their
Yes.
motives are,
Mhm.
and what they're asking for.
Totally.
Listen to them
Social
because many
work.
people will tell you. Yeah, people will tell you, and there's a reason why they are there currently.
Mhm.
There's always a history if they know it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, a history of where they are and why they got there, and that's the most crucial thing.
People and environment.
Yeah.
That is that social work background, Darren, that I think
Okay.
you bring to the table is just understanding people and what their needs are
Right.
and being able to deliver them to them from a political standpoint. Because my thing is with these politics, you have all this power. You
Mhm.
have all this power to make a change, to make a positive impact, but you are consistently focused on the drama and ain't
Right.
doing shit. You're
And-
not doing
yeah.
your
Right, and talking
job.
shit. Yeah,
You're not spending the money right. You're
Mhm.
not allocating the money to the right people. Like the
Exactly.
budget is fucked up. Like honestly. So my thing is just like let's get some people in there who actually know what they're doing and want to do their job and not just
Exactly.
be on the camera.
on TV, trying to look for the next interview and shit.
Right.
I'm like,
Okay,
you should be
so-
at motherfucking work. Why don't you? Like, I'll be like, can you come to my office real quick? I'll give you 5 minutes. You know, don't you see me? I'm typing, I'm typing. Don't you see me fucking working? What you want to ask me?
That'd be irritating the crap out of me because
Okay.
okay, what
Sorry.
was you gonna say?
Okay,
Deb?
y'all.
Okay,
But
we
wait.
got moving on.
Right. We
listen
just
now.
got on the loose
Listen,
tangent.
diatribe.
So
Okay.
wait. Who was elected as the House Speaker?
Oh yeah.
Return.
Well, we got time. This whole episode is dedicated to Politricks. So Mike Johnson. So Mike Johnson was
yes.
elected as a new House Speaker. It was one of them like last minute things. Like enough people were like, "Oh, this guy, he's young and he's a Christian conservative." But the guy, he wants to run. They were asking him like, "Well, what are you about? What do you stand for?" And he's like, "The Bible."
Right.
I mean, and as a Christian, I can understand almost like somebody saying that. But not from the perspective of like you are in public office right now and they are asking what are you basing things on. The Bible is a very historic document
yes.
that has been given to us, but literally it's centuries old. I mean, there are stories and parables that we can use to guide our lives. Absolutely. But it is not an operating manual that we need to take word for word. Because many times, even when we are receiving a sermon or a sermonette,
Yes. Sermonette.
we
Sermonette.
are told
Sermonette.
these stories in application to situations that happen
Right.
in today's world.
Current.
Nobody is looking at it word for word, saying these things unless it is like the general things. But even the 10 Commandments has been generalized for us to understand in today's even in today's language. That's why you have different versions of the Bible.
Come on now.
The New International Version,
Come on.
the New
now.
King James Version, but there was the
Okay.
original King James Version.
Listen
Right.
They even
now.
got a new version of that.
Yes.
Come on.
So
come
I'm
on.
trying to figure out Mike Johnson. He turns up the Bible, and I'm trying to figure out which Bible you reading. Which one you talking about?
Which version?
You're not talking about the stories. You're just talking about the cover.
Right.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out is who is really in the pages of Mike Johnson. We don't even know who this guy got a bank account. There's no
Child.
record of him even having a bank account, y'all.
What?
That's terrible.
You telling me where is his
Where
money
is
at?
his money?
Who is funding him? How is he paying his mortgage?
Child.
How are they paying for their kids' school supplies?
Wait.
There is no record
They
of
should have
him
voted
having a bank
Hakeem
account.
Jeffries, child.
I mean,
They
I
should.
like Hakeem.
I like Hakeem
First of
too.
all, I like his name.
Right.
But like honestly, I think that it's I miss Nancy Pelosi. I will
I
just say this, like you
know.
don't miss somebody until they like just not doing what they was doing before, and then you realize how good she was at her job.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but she didn't have any control. I mean, they don't have majority. I mean, she's still there. She's running for
She
re-election.
is,
I mean,
But she's
she's
not the
but
speaker.
yeah, she's not the speaker. I
But she
mean,
knows how to step down now too.
no,
Like
but
she understood
no,
that.
she has, and I think she is instilling in Hakeem, and she's there. I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, what actually happened is after this vote happened, you know, a little bit of history about the Capitol building is that the original Capitol building it held offices for the Congress persons, right?
Uh-huh.
And as the nation developed, there were more and more people. And eventually, early in the 20th century, they decided, or earlier in the 20th century, they decided to build office buildings. I don't know. Some of you guys have probably visited the office buildings of both our congresspersons maybe at the Rayburn office building or at the building of the Senate. Like they have their own separate offices, but many of the higher level people, think about people like Ted Kennedy and like Nancy Pelosi, like they had offices at the actual Capitol,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
So, so they, I think she had like a really nice office, maybe one of the ones that belonged to Ted Kennedy or something like that, like in like one of the secret hiding places. But they took away her office at the last minute. Once they got once Kevin McCarthy was ousted, they were like, "We're going to take this shit away from Nancy Pelosi, who was
wow.
actually she wasn't in town because she was in San Francisco for Dianne Feinstein's memorial services and
Oh.
stuff like that." Because same area, they were
They
both
petty
from.
as hell.
And so
That
they
is
took
petty.
away, and so her staffers had to pack her office and stuff like that and everything, and
Wow.
like they kicked her out, and they were like, "We're going to give this to Kevin McCarthy because Democrats decided to vote with those 8 Republicans to oust Kevin McCarthy."
That's just, that's how
Oh my
much
gosh.
more respect I have for Nancy because she has not been petty about it at all.
She
She's like, take
hasn't.
my office then, whatever. Like, I'm not going to stoop down to y'all level because that's real petty. And
Right.
I've been here for a while and I deserve this office. But if you're going to take it away, you know what? Take it away. You're not going to take my joy.
That
You're not
part.
going to take my dignity.
Right.
That's what you're not going to do because she's still
Mhm.
representing. She really is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nancy
so-
Pelosi. She's
She
a
has-
down
she's
ass
still-
chick.
She still has a lot of knowledge to give, and
Yeah.
that's what I appreciate is that even though she can take a step back, which you got to know when to step up and step back, now is her time to step back, and now she is literally rearing the next generation.
Absolutely.
She's like whispering in their
As she
ear.
should.
She's moving
Yeah.
them.
No,
she
yeah.
is giving them direction. She's saying she's their motivator. Like I really appreciate her for being able to know that this is her time to step back. But you know what? She's still gonna do it.
Right.
And you're not gonna
as she
steal her
should.
joy
Yeah,
while she
as
do
she
it.
should. As she should.
Shoot.
All right, so
That's
yeah, so
good.
that is Congress, you all. So Mike Johnson is a new speaker, but I think as time progresses, there will be a lot of things that start coming out about him or about what we don't know about him because he's basically like a dark horse candidate.
That's
A
crazy.
dark horse is somebody who just comes from the rear.
And
That-
we
Don't
don't
even
know.
see him.
We
Don't
don't
even see
know
him
what
coming.
he gonna do.
We don't
He
know
gonna
who he
fuck
is.
some shit up.
No, but what he did do, I'll tell you what he. Well, hey.
She has some conviction in that.
Cause what? We don't know nothing about you. Where the hell
We
you
don't-
came
yeah.
from? Like
We don't
what?
even know. Yeah, nigga ain't even got no. And motherfucker ain't even got no bank account information that he was.
listen,
he's
That's
actually reporting.
crazy.
Who did y'all bring into this office?
Right. I would have settled on Hakeem. Okay, I would have settled for him.
At least say like, hey, look, I went to Nick's check cashing 3 weeks ago.
Damn. Like what?
at least some kind of
Yes,
record, right?
something.
Man, you know what? They thrive in chaos though. And that's what happened when Trump came in office. He just created a like chaotic environment, and people then they're thriving in it. And like honestly, that's why Nancy probably stepped back because she's like, I'm not gonna deal with this chaos with
No,
y'all.
but
Like, I'm
it
not
was
gonna-"
time. I mean, but like at a certain point, it's just the same
Totally.
refrain as with Biden. It's like,
Totally.
look,
Totally.
you're not going to live forever, and
yeah, you have to pass down the knowledge.
not only pass down the knowledge, but you are emeritus or you're a speaker emeritus, but like there is still value in what you have to contribute. Nobody's saying that you need to go lay down and die.
Right.
Nobody is
right.
saying that.
No.
However, you don't need to be. And it's just like I think about Daddy sometimes, right?
Mhm.
he got to a level where he was supervising, he was directing stuff,
Mhm.
but he wasn't in the hole.
Right. Right.
He wasn't in the hole
Not digging
replacing
it.
the suit. Right. He wasn't
Yeah.
digging it. And sometimes you do have to take a step back and you have to instruct
Yeah.
and let somebody else,
Let
deal with it
somebody
in the
else
next
do
generation
it.
so that they can do the same thing. That you can teach them
Exactly.
how to do that.
Exactly.
So anyway, so that's
That's the
that's-
new House Speaker.
that's the new House
Mike
Speaker. That's
Johnson.
Congress.
Okay.
But one of the things that he did do, one of the first things that he wanted to do was that he wanted to, because one of the first orders of things is that during this whole chaotic thing, the tragedy on October 7th occurred, which was what happened in Israel. So on
Mhm.
October 7th, Hamas fighters, they were able to infiltrate many border crossings with Israel from the Gaza Strip. They were able to enter in and go into different settlements that were right there near the border. Settlements or villages, kibbutz, belonging to people living in these a little bit more rural, I believe they're a little bit more rural areas. And they went into these villages and they murdered. They murdered over, I don't know the exact number. I'm sorry right now, but it was
Over
definitely
1,000, 1,200.
it was about
over
it
that.
was over 1,000.
thousand.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
over
yes.
1,000 people that they ended up murdering
For sure.
throughout the different villages, taking some people hostage into different areas into Gaza, and injuring hundreds more people who were injured from all those things. And so I think that one of the things is that Congress could not pass any kind of resolution to offer funding or even just a resolution in support of Israel during that time because they did not have a speaker. They did not have a speaker appointed during the like three and a half some odd weeks that they did not have a speaker. So one of the first things that Mike Johnson came in to do is that he wanted to give money to Israel, not to Ukraine. I think he's fed up with Ukraine. He wanted to offer support to Israel. One of his first initial bills that he presented was to take money away because that Republicans shit, they want to take entitled money away from programs and shit like that. They wanted to take money away from the IRS. Who the IRS just got an influx of money from the Biden administration to make sure that it's funded enough to go after people who are cheating on their taxes.
Okay.
Right? So they wanted to take that money away that was just given to the IRS to give it to Israel. And what the congressional budget office estimated was that in order to give them $14 billion, it would cost $90 billion because they were going to be taking money away from the IRS, which was going to be applying enforcement and collecting money.
Okay.
So
So they had to invest in the process.
Who? What do you mean? Invest in the process?
Like, so they have to give money to. They had to get money to give money.
So basically, they were going to take operations funds away from the IRS to give to Israel.
Oh, wait a minute.
Why
That's
the
the
hell
part
would-
where I'm not connecting it
Yes,
whatsoever.
because what?
So
Why?
look. One of their first acts they
In
wanted
my
to
mind,
do
I was like, yeah, use that money for operations.
for the IRS.
Right.
That's the recent money that was given to the IRS by the Biden administration. The Republicans wanted to take that money and give it to Israel.
Why?
And so the Congressional Budget Office said, well, in the long run, this is actually going to cost $90 billion, not the 14 or 15 that you're trying to give to Israel.
Why are we also giving money to a war? Which I think that this lends to a deeper conversation about America and our funding habits to other countries. We have overfunded. I believe we have overfunded this war because we were just talking about this earlier. If we do not continue to fund, will the war continue is the question. Or will they find a way to resolve their conflict on their own, because that is definitely a conflict. Do we care? Absolutely. We do not want the continued genocide or killing of
pregnant women and
Israeli,
children,
Palestinian, American, whoever other representative of ethnicities are there. We do not want the killing of families, children, babies, men and women, non-binary. Like, we don't want that killing. However, I do think that funding this war is
not
perpetuating
helping.
it.
Yes, it's definitely not helping.
Because we could absolutely use that money in our own country.
Hello.
Yeah. So to address it, because this was on Halloween. On Halloween, House Republicans, they passed this bill that was for $14.3 billion that would send to Israel, not to Ukraine, but what they would do was make 14.5 billion in cuts to the IRS. So that's where the Congressional Budget Office said, well, in the long run, this is going to cost $90 billion because you're taking
Darren.
money away from the IRS.
You know who's going to pay for that? The middleman, the people who are working extra hard. It's not going to be the big businesses that have evaded taxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be those big businesses that this money could have been used to recapture those big businesses who have avoided their taxes and not paid. Who's going to pay for this war? It's going to be the middle America.
It's going to be us.
Yes.
No, look. We're going to be
The
paying for
IRS,
all of this. We're going to be paying for all of this, all of it. And I don't give a rat's ass if a billionaire out there is paying $100 million in taxes and I'm just paying. But look, I pay a third of my damn check. A third of my money goes to the feds.
Every
a
month.
third of my check as a single adult with no children. A third of my check they fucking take
every month.
And you're telling me, oh yeah, we're just gonna give it to we're gonna replenish our arsenal of military grade weapons and shit like that. Oh, okay. We're going to keep giving to Ukraine. Hey, look, I love Ukrainians, love the food and everything like that. But look, at the end of the day, what are we paying for and what are we going into debt for?
Yeah, I am in complete disbelief that we continue to fund these wars. And to me, honestly, to be a good international country, citizen, part of NATO, whatever you want to call it, I do think that sometimes we have to step away and let them figure it out. Because this has been Palestinian and Israeli.
Even the shit in Ukraine. Like, why is that shit still going on?
It's been too much.
Why are we even
involved?
Because America is the peacekeeper for the world, or we like to think, but really we choose sides, and we basically just give them a bunch of weapons and a bunch of guns and stuff like that for people to kill each other.
Yes, and it's fucking stupid.
And instead of actually building some fucking bridges, fixing the fucking potholes, making sure that kids are being educated and
getting
know how
the people off the fucking street.
Why don't right, getting people off the street. Why don't we have people teaching about physical education, about health and wellness,
mental
in schools?
health?
How come high schoolers don't know what the fuck a 2x4 is, and we're not educating people to be construction workers and plumbers and electricians? Engineers, yes. Doctors, yes. We have a need for all those things in trades and industries, but we wanna talk about the next drama of the hour. What the fuck? We just educating people to become on RuPaul's Drag Race or on Real Housewives of Atlanta or The Bachelor or The Golden Bachelor. That's all the fuck we training people to do is to be on a damn reality show. We not training people to deal with reality.
Which I do want to also recognize our service members and our veterans and our military people who are committed to actually protecting this nation.
Not to discredit them.
And this is not to discredit you and the service. We are grateful for your service. Let me just say that. We're grateful for your service and we want you to continue doing what you do best because military and civilian world are two separate things and we recognize that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely two separate things. However, do we want to continue funding a war that perpetuates
that is not ours.
This type of action towards civilians?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Mind you, listen, and this is something that we have to see. Like going back to what you were saying, like it's traumatizing to see certain things. Like the stuff that these people are going through, the losing their family members, seeing dead bodies just on the road, like walking down, just what is going on?
It's sensationalized, and
Yeah.
it is ruining our future generations and their minds.
Yes.
It's ruining us.
Yeah.
And we will be the demise of our own demise as American. If we want to be a global leader or say that we are, we also have to reflect that and not support certain interactions within other countries. Let them figure that out. Let's stop supporting them, because guess what? If we stop sending them money, guess what? What's going to happen? They're going to figure it out, and they're going to end that war themselves. They don't need no more of our guns. No. They don't need no more of our military. Like, we absolutely want to support Ukraine. We absolutely want to support Palestinians and Israel and whatever conflict they have going on. And we know what that conflict is, because it's been perpetuated in the news. Like, who's right and who's wrong. To me, it's not about right and wrong. It's about no longer supporting a war that's not helpful. Right. Like, what is this war doing?
What is the purpose of killing all these people? I don't understand.
Which, again, I also want to reiterate, this is not downplaying the service of our military whatsoever. It's not downplaying that.
No.
We're not at war, though. America is not at war. Like, we are not. America, our democracy, is not at war right now.
Child, it's been reported that Hamas has fired over 1,456 rockets at southern Israel.
Yeah, I mean, look, Hamas fighters are going to do that because they're being supplied weapons from our adversaries, like Iran, Syria,
yep,
and fighters. I mean, but the thing is that
the Taliban. Yeah,
different terrorist networks. They're being funded by either other governments or other financial interests to wreak havoc on things. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. At the end of the day,
it's so sad.
They want to expel Hamas, and Hamas says they have 40,000 people. Israel says that Hamas is probably about 30,000 people. And it's like, how are you going to eradicate Hamas knowing that there is how many people? Look up real quick. How many people are in Gaza?
It's something like Gaza population.
Oh, so it's like 500,000. It's 590, almost 600,000.
Close to a million people.
Yeah, 600,000 people in Gaza. This is according to 2017. Who knows? It could be more people. Well, who knows? More or less. So it has that many people, and we have 30,000 of them are Hamas terrorist fighters. And look, Hamas is no different from a gang, right?
No different.
It really is, and that's
no different from a gang. They get guns and rockets from a different place, and they terrorize shit.
And to me, Israel is totally capable of protecting itself, because you know what? They have held those people in Gaza,
right?
And that is the ultimate conflict right now. Is the Palestinians are saying, we have been held to this Gaza place, and we don't want to be here no more. Like, we don't want to be restricted. Well, I'm like, well, y'all stop bombing Israel and figure it out and learn how to collaborate with each other.
Right.
Because Israel will stop bombing you if you stop bombing them. And y'all need to figure out how to let Palestinians into Israel and be able to participate in all of the wealth and all of the growth that's happening within that population. But Palestinians are like, we want to fight you because we want to get out of here. We've been trapped. And rightfully so. Israel, get them out of there. Like, let them lose. Hell, let that figure lose.
And they will water, some electricity. I mean, they can't even build on the land. Israel,
and they will stop bombing you.
Child, there's pregnant women in delivery, and I've seen a video of a hospital that is lacking so much,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just doing what they can, and they're saying that women, there's a certain amount of women that is going to give birth before before the end of November.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that most of them will probably miscarry because they're not given the proper
Nutrition.
Yeah, I
like
believe it.
what
I
are y'all
believe it.
serious?
Yeah, it's
No,
wrong.
but
It's
yeah,
terrible.
but just like people who need probably dialysis and stuff like that, like they're gonna die.
It's It is
They are gonna
absolutely
die.
terrible, and nobody's saying that it's like it's right. Honestly,
It's
nobody
sad.
is.
It's really sad.
really sad to witness other countries experience this. Same with
Mhm.
Ukraine and
Mhm.
Russia. There was no reason for Russia to like try to invade, but they did, and
Mhm.
Ukraine is holding their ground.
Mhm.
Let them hold their ground.
Let them hold it.
Oh, but
Let
they can
them
only
hold
look,
it.
But Ukraine can only hold their ground with the munitions that we supply them. And
Well,
we
like
continue
Daisy
to fund them.
said, we need to stop supplying them with shit.
Well, then they're gonna lose.
And that's the
They're
unfortunate
gonna
part.
they're
like
gonna lose
honestly,
after
and
that.
give us
Well, that should be the end of it. Hell.
and that's the unfortunate part. That is to me, at some point at the end of war, somebody has to lose and somebody's gonna win. So at the end of the day, like we're gonna continue
Ceasefire.
supplying. As we continue supplying Ukraine, guess what? Our gas prices and groceries are gonna be high as
Listen.
hell. That's just
Yeah,
what's going to be the
well,
case.
I don't know why we
so
didn't
just
bring
deal
out-
with it.
I don't
If
know
you
why-
support Ukraine, then just also support the gas prices going up.
Mm-hmm.
That is the reality. That's the consequence. We're going to
Mhm.
support Ukraine. Our gas prices are going to go up.
Mhm.
So stop asking questions about why our gas prices are going up, because the majority
That's
of
the
our gas
reason.
came from Russia, and we decided not to do business with Russia because we support Ukraine. So stop talking about these gas prices, because it's the price that we pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a price. There's always
Exactly.
a price.
Shit, I don't know
There's
why
always
we
a
ain't down
price.
in Venezuela trying to, Venezuela could probably have some nice resorts and shit like that. Some
I
tourist
bet you they
industry.
do.
Give us some of that
Listen.
damn gas they got. Anyway, so
Give us some of that gas.
All right, so
We need that gas.
Give us some of that gas. Come on.
all right, so the Israeli-Palestinian war right now, or the war against Hamas, it's going to continue to cause devastation around, and I think a lot of innocent people, children,
Mhm.
are going to die. They are
so
dying
sad.
right now.
It's sad. It's
It's
incredibly
very
sad.
sad.
It is heartbreaking and really terrible.
Mhm.
All right, so I mean, I think just in general, as we've been talking about like funding just the different wars and stuff like that, we've talked about the funding, but let's talk about as well. Just recently, I know we're a little bit over time, but student loan repayments, they've restarted in the month of October. They already took some of my money. I'm on auto pay, so they already took that shit from mine.
Pay them loans back.
I'm
Yeah.
still in deferment.
Hell, I am free and clear. Thank you, Lord.
They need to keep
Daisy
counting,
is
yeah.
free and
Testimony.
clear.
I gotta count my shit. I got 20. What did I say earlier? Like
You
20,
said 23 payments?
29 more months.
29 more months.
Yeah, I have like about
A
2.5
year.
years.
Oh, 2.5 years.
That's
About
how I
2.5
felt,
years
Darren, when
left.
I was at about 3 years. But then, honestly, I just blinked my eye and then I woke
Oh,
up and I was
yeah.
like, Lord, I got
It's
this
2.5 years is gonna fly
It's
by.
it
We're gonna be
flies.
in 2026.
in no
Yeah.
time.
no
Then
time.
I am gonna be able to get that shit charged off. Working for nonprofits, social
that's
workers.
good,
So
yes.
yeah, definitely not having that is great. I'm definitely proud that I have some other financial goals and paying off some other credit
Yeah.
cards. So I'm just ready to just be done with that.
That's
and
good.
Yeah,
but-
we should talk about how I went from a 660 credit score to now my credit score is like 820.
Damn.
Girl,
all
let
right.
me hold
Maybe
some.
it's like 815 or something like that. It may have gone down.
Let me hold some.
But,
I'm just
I'm
playing.
telling you, because I gave up on the credit cards. I gave up and I was like,
Oh.
give it to God. I don't
Give
want
it
to pay
to
these
God.
no more. I went through the whole debt relief and everything. And I did it. And then I was like, I don't want credit cards anymore. So for 6 years, I didn't have a credit card. So my credit score plummeted
What?
because I refused to get a credit card. But once I did, I was like, okay, I gotta I literally have
I know
to, like,
it sucks
I
that
have
you
to
have
bite
to
the bullet
actually
and-
get a credit card.
and
Yeah, to
just
fix your
participate.
credit. To fix your credit, you gotta
crazy.
get credit.
So I
That's
did,
fucking
and
crazy.
literally, I'm not even joking you. It has to be about 2 to 3 years. I raised my credit score from a 660. Well, in 2020, my credit score when me and Mary bought that house or our condo was at 660.
Mhm.
So the loan was like, sorry, we can't use your credit. We got to use Mary's.
So how many
But
credit cards do you have?
right now, I have one, two. I only have 3 personal credit cards.
Okay.
Maybe 4. Maybe
Okay.
4 4. I have 4 personal credit cards.
Child, I only got one.
Yeah, I think I have.
But you have to have that
4.
mixture though. So my first
Well,
one.
that one and then the
Yeah,
card.
we'll talk
but
about
that's
this.
not yet.
I think it's a whole. It's some tips and tricks that I got for y'all.
I feel like we should
Talk about
credit
cards.
and credit scores.
It's some
Yeah.
tips and tricks that
So-
I
Because
may
it's
work.
definitely
talk
some
about that?
tricks. I feel like it's some
We
tricks.
didn't.
No, Darren, we
No.
didn't really dive into like credit cards and credit scores and what you could do to like
Raise
Okay,
it.
boost
well, I
your
think
credit score.
dang, this was September 2022. We talked about the history of the
But
credit
we
score.
we didn't
Okay,
talk
but
about how to raise
it though.
Yeah.
in
Because
a very short
people-
amount of time.
Yeah, because people like myself, I was like, well, shit, if I don't have a credit card, then I'm not gonna, I should be good. But
Oh, no,
then,
you're not good. No,
Well,
I
yeah.
learned
so
that with my clients.
realized,
Yeah.
so
A
I
secure credit
realized
card.
over time that's what you actually need to help boost it.
And
because-
also, you need multiple. You
Multiple.
need different kinds of credit
Yes.
cards. You need a variety in your credit
yeah, so
history. Yeah, they look for a variety. They look for
that
one-time
definitely
payments, obviously.
on-time payments. Yes,
Main
I
thing.
feel like that should be another topic.
Put it on auto pay.
Like,
That's all I gotta say.
Specifically on specifically
that
on
money
credit
in the bank.
cards and credit scores and how to raise it. That's another topic for sure.
Totally.
Yeah, so everybody who got the student loans out there, hey, look, we feel your pain.
We feel your
it
pain.
has restarted, but
It is what it
we
is.
gotta
Get
deal
it
with.
done.
But that's really what it begs the question is like, look, Congress or the Supreme Court, they said that Biden couldn't offer student loan relief.
yeah.
And it's just like, well, yeah, we know where our money is going. It's going to go buy some more bombs and shit.
Hello.
It's going to go
Hello.
kill people. That's what our money. That's what we
That's
generate
where
our
we-
tax money to go to is to go
That's
help
messed
somebody
up.
else kill somebody. Okay, great.
That's sad.
Hope you feel good about sleeping at night. Knowing that we're not even investing in our future. We're not investing in
Right.
our infrastructure. We're
Right.
not investing in the things that will make us healthy. Anyway, ladies, you guys have any other questions and all comments?
We love
Anything?
y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being consistent with us. And thank you for listening. We always enjoy having these conversations and hope you enjoy listening, participating, reach out to us. We have a ton of topics to talk about, as you know. So if you have something in mind, let us know too.
Do your
Alright.
research, guys. Just do your research
That's right.
on politics and these
Absolutely.
politicians and these propositions whenever there's an election going on. Like, really look into it. And like I said earlier before, the people thinking like, well, it's all gonna go to hell. Like, don't have that mentality when you are suffering the consequences. Like, actually try to be, a part of the solution
Yes.
instead of a part of the problem.
Yes.
Okay?
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Let's do our Proverbs. Proverbs
Proverbs.
3, 5, and 6.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
In
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. All right, thank you all. Have a wonderful week.
If she can't dance, then she can't. Ooh, yeah. Am I wrong to say?